we were moving at one point, and again, we're starving, we're without food, and we're in a very mountainous region, and our guards are starving as well. And the leader of the guard group, his name was Milton. And this guy was pure evil, man. He was a very bad guy, but he was also a very nervous guy. You know, he wasn't like this stoic, brave person. He was always panicking, and that made us even more nervous when he would get in these panic modes. Well, we're marching and going up a mountain when suddenly a group of monkeys starts passing overhead, right? And we haven't eaten for a while. And so Milton pulls out, they've got this 22 rifle, and they like to use a 22 down there because it makes less noise. And at that point, they had to be as quiet as possible. And he starts shooting at these monkeys, and he takes one down. And the monkey falls. He sends one of the guerrillas to go get it, and they drag it right over to where the three of us are being watched. And the monkey's still breathing, man. He hit it in the head. There's blood coming out of its head, but it's still breathing. And Milton pulls his machete out, and he whacks at the monkey in the head to try to kill it, try to finish it off. And all he does is just cut it even more, and it's bleeding even more. And so the monkey's still there. It's just laying on its back, its arms wide open like this, its chest heaving as it's breathing. And man, Milton took the machete and he cut its legs off. He cut one leg off, then he cut the other leg off, and then he cut both its arms off, one and then the other.
While the monkey was still alive.
While it's still alive, it's still breathing. And you can see its chest moving, its eyes were open. You know, it's probably unconscious, or eyes were open, it's still breathing. And he took each limb and had these guerrillas tie it to the backs of their backpacks, you know, one each, and we kept on marching. And he left the animal there, still breathing, still alive, no arms or no legs. And that was one of the most disgusting things I'd ever seen, man. And when in the previous episode, I talked about imagining killing somebody, and it was Milton that I used to imagine killing. You know, if only there was a cliff I could throw him off of, or if only there was a way, you know, I used to, and here I am talking about my faith, you know, and at the same time, I want to kill this guy. And I'm like, if only there was a way I could kill him. We walked away from that monkey, and in front of me is one of the guards. He's got a limb of the monkey dangling from his backpack, and we're going to eat that later. We're going to eat those pieces of that monkey later. And I just thought, man, if Milton, he could do that to that monkey, to him, we are no different than that monkey or than a chicken that you cut its head off and eat it. We're no different than that. I was like, he can, and he will do that to us when he's given the order to. And it was just a very nasty reminder of where we were. So every once in a while we would get these things, you know, we would live in this little bubble to deal and adapt to the situation. But that bubble would get burst every once in a while when you would see these very inhumane acts.
Did you guys talk about this incident later on, you and your...
Yeah, that's it's just one of those things that you can never forget when you see it. You know, you can never forget that. Yeah, just such an inhumane thing, you know, and for these terrorists, life is nothing. Human life, any life, it's nothing. They'll snuff it out like that. They don't care. They really don't care. And that's what they've done to the country. The FARC, look them up, look up the FARC. All they have done is commit terrorism and violence in Colombia. They've done nothing good for it. They claim to be a revolutionary group, but they've done nothing. They're narco traffickers. They control cocaine production, and they kidnap people and extort people and murder people.
And they held my dear friend in the jungles in horrific conditions, and that automatically makes me not a fan. And Mark, I want you to understand something, that people can deny whatever they want to deny. You can say that you've never had a bad thought, you've never had a negative thought, but even in Christian communities, we understand that the flesh is sin, and we're based and born in flesh. A doctor once told me this. She came and she told me she was trying to help me deal with my issues of forgiveness because I had a very hard time forgiving myself. As I came into manhood, I understand what I had done in life, everything that I had done, every bad thing I had ever done. And it began to weigh on me. It began to weigh on me heavily the more and more and more I gained understanding for it. She said, if everybody went around with a sign on their head of the worst thing they had ever done, the worst thing they'd ever thought, we'd get nowhere as a society, because you judging people based upon the worst thing they have done is not a measure of their character. So going through these feelings are very natural, believe it or not, for your situation. And I don't want you to down yourself or feel that way, because I've seen people think about killing somebody because they cut them off in a traffic lane, much less what you're going through and what you're being forced to see. These aren't things you want to see. These are things you're being forced to see. So don't feel that way, especially not here, not where this is the place where you're going to get to tell what you went through.
Yeah. It's these are just natural human emotions, and you go through a lot of them. And despite those things, you want to, or most of us, I at least try to do the best that I can to be a good person. But yeah, man, when it came to some of those guys, like one of them was killed, while we were there. And it was the first time I was like, yes, I actually internally celebrated somebody getting killed there, And those were not, I was in the military, but I was in the Air Force as an intelligence analyst. I wasn't somebody that was trained for combat. I was trained to be an analyst. And so I had this very quick introduction into, real violence. And it was a shock at first, but more than anything, the feelings that it stirred within me were things that I at certain points didn't really understand. And even now, I think about my views towards the FARC as a group, because they still exist, or other terrorist groups, and then I try to find compassion for certain things and try to understand why people do the things that they do. It's possible to find the balance there, but it's hard, and it takes a lot of self-reflection and definition of who you are and who you want to be.
And not only that, not just emotion, because everybody's felt the emotion to want to punch somebody in the mouth. Everybody's felt that. I see people daily that struggle with anger issues. But that's the thing, is being able to control the emotions, whether it's jealousy, love out of control, having an out of control love, just loving, being out of control can be damaging to a person. We have to be able to control our emotions. So the fact that you did control your emotions and you didn't chop Milton up into little pieces is a good thing. That shows a definition of your character. Don't measure yourself lightly.